Here's the last progress report after that play session. Pikmin went up to 46%, taking the overall progress of the randomizer to 30%. We are killing it at the moment. Progress is being made. And now we're about to find out what the next game is. Can I get a spin that wheel? Woo! We can't get the same one twice, so respin. Oh, wait. I also said... Wait, I have to change something. I totally forgot that I felt sorry for Wind Waker. So we're replacing spin again with Wind Waker on the wheel to add some extra probability of Wind Waker being spun. Okay, we have double chances. Hopefully Wind Waker gets some love. Let's see. Hey, it didn't even go to the other one. It actually went to the real one that time. Yeah, Wind Waker, baby, is finally getting the life it deserves. I could literally cry right now. I'm so happy. Wind Waker's been deserving this for way too long. This is just such a heartwarming moment. I'd like to thank all the hoes in the world for hoeing. Haha, go perfect. Got it all on screen. Time to make life happen. Wind Waker. We're finally playing it. Finally happening. All right, welcome to Randomizer of the Winds. We gotta generate a name for our boy or girl. Kendall is the name. That's a fun name. Kendall's like one of those names that I think back on. I just remember this girl being like such a bitch in high school. Name's Kendall. I saw this meme recently that says, you don't realize how many people you hate until you have to choose a baby name. We're in the Starbelt Archipelago. Archipelago. I think it's I can never remember if it's Archipelago or Archipelago. I always mess that up. But Greyland, thank you again. Steve-O, thank you for yours as well. You want to hear Tyler say "Go Canes"? Like the chicken place? Or is that a sports team? Regardless, go Canes! Canes, 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 Canes. You've never had Canes? Canes is pretty good. Canes is like the In-N-Out for chicken tenders. Like you can, when you go there, you can only get one thing, but you know that it's gonna be good. Attacking toucans or attacking two canes. Canes is real good though. So I really love In-N-Out now too, but you have to accept it as just like a really good middle of the road burger place where you can get a pretty good burger for a cheap place. It's kind of what Canes is. You can get some really good chicken tenders for a pretty good price. Dude, we got raided? Yo, what is up? Welcome to the stream, homies. How you all doing? Was that a Fearsome fire raid? Oh shit, yeah it is. Dude, Fearsome, what's good, man? How's your surgery going? Welcome everyone, we're doing a subathon. As you can see in the title, we're on day 3. I'm currently trying to play through 7 randomizers. We have a randomizer report, keeping track of all the randomizers as we're completing them. We're 30% done with our randomizers at the moment, and we just started playing Wind Waker for the first time. So what's good? Link is looking really sick right now. I don't know why his skin color is blue. I didn't know that was possible, but that's kind of creepy. I'm just like seeing him for the first time. We literally just started playing Wind Waker. And yeah, I'm gonna be streaming for the next forever, so 24/7. I've even been sleeping on stream. I've been like dedicating myself to the highest extent. Blue skin, red hair. Nice, that's a look. It's a look. I don't think we can do anything else on Dragon Roost right now. So this is the most difficult Wind Waker randomizer I've ever done as well, like all the other randomizers. I turn on every single possible setting for this. Literally everything's randomized. The actual best for multi-world randomizers, and something you should definitely check out. What is Archipelago? Archipelago? Do you guys ever like get into the state where even if you are told how to correctly pronounce a word, like a couple months later you think and you're like, wait, did they tell me that it was archipelago or archipelago? I can never remember the correct pronunciation. I did set the timer, like the actual timer itself, to not have a cap, just so it could go as high as it wanted to potentially. But the stream is technically capped at 7 days. But who knows, maybe I'll go longer than 7 days. Maybe I'll be having such a good time that I'll just become a person who never stops streaming, and I just stream every second of my life for the rest of my life. Is this still giving the subscriber alerts? That's hilarious. It's so many. Also, right before we just got that raid from Fearsome, Gray Lane just gifted 100 subs just out of nowhere. And then Steve-O gifted 10 more. That way he could be 1 gift sub above Gray Lane. No one's coming for his spot. And I mean no one. Archipelago. How do I like force myself to remember the pronunciation now? It's archipelago. I just didn't remember that. Do I know Medley? Do I know Medley? Yo, I've been Medley. I've literally possessed her. I know her on a whole nother level. That is so many subs. I've never had this many subs on Twitch before. Isn't that like literally insane to think about? But I've been streaming for like almost 10 years, and as of yesterday, I have the most subscribers I've ever had on Twitch. That's exciting. It's big news. I don't think there's anything else I can do here. Oh wait, I can play the mail mini game, I think. How am I holding up? I'm holding up phenomenally. I'm doing real good. Tweet, bitch. Time is passing by too quickly. I've only gotten 1 check so far. I'm already 12 minutes into the 15 minutes. I can't remember how to even leave this room because there's like 5 entrances. That was the right one. For other people that have done subathons like Ludwig and Point Crow, what was their conversion rate? Because right now I have $1 or 100 bits equals 1 minute. Is that what they did? Or do they have a different conversion rate? Let's go to Pop right next. Yo, chat, what's your time zone? Put your time zone in chat. I am Pacific time, baby. We have Hawaiian time. We have London time. London time sounds cool. Point Crow was randomized. What? How was the subathon randomized? Can I kill anything without my sword? I don't think so. CST, GMT, we have some mountain time. Let's go. ATL, what is ATL? Australian? Steve-O, are you Australian? Oh, we're passing them, we're passing them. Wait, I forgot. If you use the Wind Waker, you can do an instant stop. It's just like skirting the brakes. Yeah. What you got for me? Yo, those are some Fuego time zones, guys. Whose time zone's the best, though? Like, what's the elite time zone? If you had to choose one. Eastern time is elite? East Coast thinks it's best coast? Now, I grew up in Central Time, and I'm kind of partial to Central Time. I like how it's like in the middle. Pacific, I'm not a huge fan of. Things happen a little bit too late. It's kind of inconvenient. Eastern, I don't know, it gets late way too early in comparison to the rest of the country. But Central, ooh, that should hit just right. I'm that Missouri boy, Missouri born and raised. Do I even get to keep that feather that I found? No, I don't have the spoils bag, so I don't even get to keep my golden feather. That's so sad. What about Mountain Time? I feel like not enough people live in Mountain Time for it to be relevant. Mountain Time's like the most forgettable time, unfortunately. Oh, purple boobs. You keep the feather, you just can't use it. Oh, that's nice. So where does Link keep it? Is he just keeping it in his ass until he gets the spoils bag? The rules for this randomizer is yes, collect all 8 Triforce pieces and fight Ganondorf. Everything is randomized though. Like every option the randomizer has to randomize, I've selected. So, good freaking luck to us. Okay, the entrance of this egg. This egg is still like one of the most strange, mysterious elements to Wind Waker. Like, what is this? Is this Valu's egg? Is there any like actual lore to it? Does anybody know? There is logic. We have logic turned on. Yep. Lake of the Ozarks was 2 hours away from your hometown. Lake of the Ozarks is where I grew up. I lived in Lake of the Ozarks for the first like 5 years of my life. And then my family moved to just the city of Ozark when I got older. Which Ozark is about an hour away from the actual Lake of the Ozarks. Okay, just because you're in an irrelevant time zone doesn't make you irrelevant in general. That's not how that works. Your worth isn't determined by your time zone. The time zone's worth is determined by the time zone. You got some Ben & Jerry's and you're very happy. What flavor did you get? The best Ben & Jerry's flavor, which is very hard to find. Whenever I find it, I have to buy it because I only see it like hardly ever. But it's the pumpkin cheesecake flavor. Literally so good. Yeah, if you stop watching the subathon for even a few minutes, you're probably gonna come back and see like 5 more hours added to the timer out of nowhere. We're gonna have to follow this girl, Metal Gear style. We'll have to talk to her first. She's on the run. Let's track her. Cherry Garcia is your favorite flavor. Well, I ruined that fast. Tyler, give us a story. A story. I'm trying to think of a good, just like condensed story. I'm not really a storyteller. Although to be a better streamer, it's good to be a good storyteller. I'm a good storyteller if I like have a story like to tell. But it's hard to just like think of like a story off the top of your head. Like story about my life. You have to give me a little bit more of like a... If you want me to tell a story, I need a little bit more of like a focus. A story about what? A little bit more focus. My brain, I hear story and then I think of a million things, then I can't think of anything. Story about my most recent club outing. Oh, shoot. Okay, interesting. So the most recent time I went out to a club was actually a couple weeks ago. And I was going with this dude that I'm friends with. And we went to see a concert. Well, first off, let me start from the beginning. So, last week, our tent. Can I talk? Okay. Here's the story. I'm just building up some anticipation for it. So, last week we had our house tinted for termites. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that before. If you've ever seen Breaking Bad, it happens in that show where they literally cover your whole entire house in a gigantic tint and then fill it with toxic chemicals to kill all the termites so your house doesn't get eaten. So we were out of our house, and I really hope while we were gone somebody cooked meth in our house, because that'd be a really missed out opportunity if someone didn't cook meth in our house while we were out. But that's besides the point. Where's the girl at? Make sure I don't fuck this up. Oh, no! I did fuck it up, damn it. She saw me. Oh my gosh, she didn't see me the first time. Okay, so anyways, I was out of my house for the week because our house was tinted and it was full of chemicals that would kill us if we breathed them in. And then I did. So I went to hang out with one of my friends and we went to go see a concert. And the concert we saw was my first hyperpop concert. The artist name was DOA, who was really cool. I never heard of him before, but apparently he had a song in Euphoria, which I listened to. Really good stuff. And it was really good, really hype concert. Somebody we saw there was somebody I wasn't expecting, but we saw Carl from the Mr. Beast videos. Carl was just on stage, just like moshing with the artist, just like having the time of his life. And there was this other artist that I recognized from Lyrical Lemonade. His name was Glaive, and he was like on stage, like freaking going crazy. But it was in a small concert venue, and it was a good night. I had a good time with my friends, and then afterwards, we went out to some clubs, and I had like a good evening with my friends who, okay, is a little bit more than a friend if I'm being honest, honestly. Went to some clubs, we're having a good time, and then we walked out of a club. And somebody walked up to me and they were like, "Oh my God, are you Tyler?" And I was like, "Yeah, how's it going? Are you having a good night?" I'm like I've been confronted in public a few times from being known. So like whenever somebody like asks me, "Are you Tyler Cedarwell? Are you attacking toucans or whatever?" I'm just like, "Yeah, how's it going? What's up?" Like I just like kind of direct it back and I ask them a question. I'm like, "How are you doing?" And I felt like, I was like, who is this? Are they a viewer? Like, what the heck's going on? Because for some reason, I meet viewers in West Hollywood more than, like, anywhere else. That actually makes sense, because I have a lot of gay viewers, so. Anyway, so I was like, who is this person? Like, what do they want? Like, what's going on? And they were like, "I'm best friends with your ex-boyfriend." And I was like, oh, no. Well, it wasn't actually ex-boyfriend. It was just, like, Okay, I never actually dated the person officially. I never like was in a committed thing where I said like, yeah, we're actually boyfriends. It was more just like that kind of phase where we were friends that hung out a lot, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to be his boyfriend. Long story short, I decided I didn't want to, and I ended stuff off, I thought, very peacefully and in a very like, wait, let's go ahead and get this real fast. I want to make sure I choose the right dialogue. That's terrible. Yes, very well. But why not? Because I'm honest. Damn, she has a whole entire spiel. Okay, treasure chart, cool. I mean, the ultimate reason I didn't like this guy was mainly because I just didn't really enjoy having conversation with him. Oh no, it crashed. Fuck. Here, let me finish the story before I start playing again. Okay, so the reason I didn't like this guy and the reason I kind of broke it off is I just like didn't truly enjoy hanging out with him long term. Like, we got along, but we just didn't have enough in common for me to like want to continue hanging out with him. It got to the point where like I didn't want to even spend, like I kind of enjoyed hanging out with him if I was with a group of friends, but if I had to hang out with him for just like 2 or 3 hours like by myself and just talk with him, then I just got kind of bored. I just like wasn't really into it. the way he talked about himself, like, was a way that left me with more questions than answers, if that makes sense. Like, I would be like, yo, how was your day? And his answer would be like, oh, crazy, absolutely crazy. And that would be his answer. And it's like, cool, why was it absolutely crazy? And then he would answer with something else that makes you have to like ask another question. Like when he would tell you stuff, you would have to like, he would like tell you in ways that made you had to ask more questions to like continue learning about it. Like what the day was. And it's just like talking to him was like, it wasn't fun. Like it wasn't like the process just wasn't there that made it a good time. And you can't date somebody if you're not enjoying the conversation. So I was just like, you know what, it's chill, whatever. Like, it's cool. I enjoyed the experiences, but like, I just don't think we're right for each other, like in the long run. And so that was that. And I just kind of haven't really talked to him since then. And then kind of going back to the actual point of the story, I ran into his best friends. And his best friends, oh my God, literally, I don't know why, but he completely narked on this dude that I was seeing. And like told me every single crazy thing of behavior that this dude did whenever I stopped like talking to him. And like normally best friends are supposed to like have their friends' backs, but this best friend did not have his friend back. He was telling me that he was doing like crazy like stalking stuff after I stopped talking to him. Apparently he was like recording conversations that we had, and he would like play our conversations back to his friend to like try to like, you know, like I don't even know, like figure out what I meant by saying certain things that shouldn't even like be looked into. Apparently he was like saying like lots of just like things about me that didn't actually mean, but was just trying to like deal with the feelings by just saying tons of like mean like shit about me. And I was just like, damn, I really dodged a bullet. Thank you for letting me know that this guy was crazy. I'm glad I didn't continue moving forward in a good direction with this. Because if that's how they felt afterwards, then like, yikes. Not about that. But I just thought it was crazy how his best friend just like came and literally narked on him and just like spilled the beans on like every single thing that he was doing. And I was like, damn, he's just embarrassing his friend like even further. And like the guy didn't really have a chance ever again. Like I didn't really consider ever wanting to be with him. But I was also like in the phase where I thought we were chill. Like I was down to be friends. Like I actually hung out with him once like a month ago. And like, cause I was like, you know, yeah, I'm still chill with you, like whatever. I still think you're cool. But like now after hearing all that, it's like, no, I should probably just fully stay away from that completely. Because this seems like a very, very toxic situation. But then the funniest thing of the story is the whole entire time we were having this conversation, like we couldn't get away because we were standing there waiting for an Uber. And so we were just kind of stuck there like waiting for our Uber. We couldn't really leave somewhere because we already told the Uber where we were going to be. So we were just like stuck in this conversation with this guy who kept on like telling about all of the crazy stuff that this guy did once I stopped talking to him. And then we were just trying to get out. So the car came and we thought it was our Uber, and we got inside a car. And then the car took us to the wrong destination, and we realized we got in the wrong Uber because we were so just like ready to get out of that conversation because I was just like kind of uncomfortable with the situation that we just like hopped in the wrong Uber and went to the wrong place. And we had to spend like an extra like $40 on Ubers because we literally got it the wrong way. And yeah, I feel stupid about that. I don't know how the Uber driver allowed us to be in the wrong car for 20 minutes or how we even managed to stay in the wrong car for 20 minutes before we realized we were in the wrong Uber. But yeah, we stole someone's Uber, and I'm not really sure what happened. I don't know if the other person ended up like paying for. I honestly don't know what happens when you get in the wrong Uber. That's so freaking funny. But yeah, that was my last experience going out clubbing. Overall, it was a really good night. I danced for like 4 or 5 hours, had some drinks, you know. For some reason, whenever you go to WeHo, there's always like a bunch of straight girls there that are like, that ask you to make out. Like, you get asked out. I think I made out with like 4 girls last time I was at WeHo. And like, I don't even want to make out with girls, but girls just come out, like just walk up to you and they're like, oh my God, you guys are so hot, can I make out? And then you're just like, sure. And then you just make out for a few seconds. They're like, oh my God, that was awesome, thank you. And you're like, hell yeah. And you just like walk away. Why'd the game not show up? There it goes. Sounds like a bet to you. No, I think it's just drunk girls go to WeHo. Or girls like to go to WeHo because it's a fun place to get drunk and there's not as many like people who are going to be predators in WeHo because it's mostly gay guys that are trying to look for girls. But then girls get really drunk and then they see cute gay guys and there's like no straight guys around for them. But now that they're drunk, they're like horny, so they just go up and approach gay guys and ask them to make out instead. But then they also like that because they know that they can just make out with the gay guy and then just walk away and then that's that. Or like if you make out with, if you're a hot girl and you make out with the straight guy's gonna like want something a bit more after that, you know? So yeah, that's WeHo for you. WeHo's crazy though. WeHo is just like the sexual epicenter, honestly, of Los Angeles. You can never, girls have all the cooties. Yeah, but when you're drunk, you don't really care. Making out with people is pretty fun when you're drunk. It's not sanitary, but I'm not a sanitary person, honestly. I don't really believe in... I don't believe in, like, people germs, I guess. Like, I believe in people germs, obviously, but I also think people germs are literally on everything. Like, everything in the world is fucking disgusting, so it's like, whatever. Never made out with someone while drunk. Making out with someone while drunk is 10 times better than making out with somebody when sober, I would say. It's just like... Because you just... I mean, everything is more fun when drunk, first off, just about. That's why alcohol's so dangerous. But you just, like, absolutely don't care whatsoever. You just, like, are fully, like, in the moment when you're drunk. Like, when you're high, you're very in your head. When you're drunk, you're not thinking. You're just... Making out with people is fun regardless if you're drunk or sober, though. Does Bruno Mars is gay? I feel like he might be a little bit, but he doesn't want to publicize it because, you know, his whole entire brand is making music about loving women, so it would kind of tarnish his brand if all of a sudden he was like, yeah, also kind of like guys too. All the girls who like listen to his music like, oh my god, he's not telling the truth in his music anymore. I don't know what to believe. Went to a club in 2011 with a group of friends. We didn't share every detail with each other, but one friend could not escape the straight drunk girls. He had to tell them that he's super ultra mega rainbows gay, which he isn't, but I guess drunk straight girls are a terrifying force. Drunk straight girls can be very terrifying sometimes. Like, drunk straight girls, I don't think they believe in sexual assault, but they definitely do get pretty assaulty sometimes when they get drunk. But I think they just like do that because girls can typically get away with it, especially if they're pretty. But there's... Sometimes girls will just come up and touch you, I'll say. Like, it's not cool. It's like, not that I don't mind being touched, but it's like, you gotta get permission. Permissions and consent is very important. Just because you're a girl, you can't just assume that guys are okay with being touched by you either. Most guys probably are okay with it, which is why they probably do it and get away with it. But also guys, if they're like sexually assaulted by a girl, probably aren't going to also get like authorities involved or anything. When if a guy sexually assaults a girl, she probably won't get authorities involved. It's seen as a much more serious situation. Everybody's different when it comes to touching. I've met some people who like are complete strangers to me, but then like treat me as if they've known me for years and are like family, and will like lean against me and like they won't have any like care about those personal boundaries. And then some people act like there's a 5-foot invisible force field around them. Everybody has like very, very different boundaries. How about touching some grass? Bitch, I'm a Twitch streamer. You think I touch grass? Psh. Yeah, I mean, it's just social stigma. It's just, the reason there's social stigmas, though, is because stereotypes, for the most part, have a lot of truth to them and are stemmed on a lot of things that happen. So, I get it. How about touch ass? I don't know. I don't know if Twitch streamers touch much ass either, if I'm being honest. Okay, we are back to where we left off. Good thing we only collected 2 items before the game crashed. I'm just gonna save frequently. And if it crashes again, I'll restart my computer. Last time someone touched your ding dong, you almost punched them during the intercourse? Wait, if you're having intercourse, they're supposed to touch it. That's like the whole point. That's the purpose of it. Yeah! Yeah! What? Yeah! Yeah! Whoa! Treasure chart numero 7. That's how you discovered you were ace. Ah, okay, that makes a bit more sense. Were you ace, or were you just in a situation with somebody that you weren't fully attracted to? So you're like, yeah, I'm not actually feeling this. Because like I have some friends who are ace, and then I'm like, well, would you want to have sex with this person? And they're like, yeah, I want to have sex with them. I'm like, then that doesn't make you ace. And they're like, I only consider myself ace because I haven't actually met somebody that I want to have sex with like in real life that's wanted to have sex with me back. I'm like, I'm not sure if that's ace. That just means you haven't landed the person that you truly want yet. Empty bottle. Thank you, Tingle. I'll take that. Demisexual sounds a bit more accurate. That's true. Asexuality doesn't have to be rigid. Very correct. Another bottle? Did he just give me 2 bottles? What are the chances of Tingle having 2 bottles? Sure. Whatever. Double bottles. We could get some grandma soup, but let's go back here first. You couldn't get sushi all the places. Oh yeah, it's Memorial Day. That's right. Memorial Day is made for grilling out. Gotta put some charcoal on the grill. Light her up. What's the best thing to cook on the grill? I feel like kebabs. Kebabs with like onions and peppers and mushroom and chicken and onion and tomato. Oh yeah. My mouth is watering just at the thought of it. Ribs? Ribs are good, but I feel like ribs are better in a smoker than on a grill. You love grilling dog? Cool. Can't relate. Made a bomb-ass chicken kebab rice bowl the other day with spicy sour marinated carrots and avocado and stuff. It was so good. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Shin. Jeez, didn't even offer me any. Excuse me. Hot dogs are very underrated. Incorrect. Hot dogs should be underrated. If anything, hot dogs are overrated. Hot dogs taste good, but it's a bunch of like mystery pork. Mystery pork in general, when you think about it, just doesn't sound that great on paper. Also, if you guys if you missed the announcement that I made on the first day of the stream, I was reached out to by the creators of Zelda Online, the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Online feature that allows you to play with up to 40 people. And they told me that they're almost done with Wind Waker Online, and they reached out and we tested it. And later in the streamathon, we're gonna be playing some Wind Waker Rando online. And I'm super excited. It's gonna be really, really cool. The fact that Wind Waker has like an online mod is just like, I don't know why, but online mods for 64 games aren't as impressive to me as GameCube games. Something about GameCube games, like there's a certain like polish to them that just like having multiplayer added just feels like extra special. Do you guys know what I mean? So I'm really excited for it. Wind Waker multi-world, that sounds like torture. Oh, come on, Salvador. Where's my kaboom? There's my kaboom. One. Nice. Are you... Okay, there's one left. Oh no, I missed it. It's probably down here, huh? Oh, wow. Oh, I just needed one more shot. Dang. Adding online to N64 games sounds way harder. Maybe. It's probably... I wonder what is harder. Like, realistically. Oh, shoot. First try? That's what I'm talking... Oh! Oh, now I gotta find the tiny one. Oh yes, after Sploosh Kaboom, we will do the respin. Oh! Was that enough for the good prize? 19, right? That gets me like both of the prizes. Let's go, power bracelets. Okay, at least we got one thing. We're about to respin. I think we probably got, what would we say, 1% progress? I think we're 1% of the way done with Wind Waker. Ghost ship chart. Cool. ROM hacking is easier than hacking to ISO. Online just requires that you have access to a server that is connected to the internet, really. So I think N64 would be easier. I don't know enough about anything, so. Oh, we have 2 bottles as well. Let's say 3%. We made 3% progress.